Oh, welcome everybody to Friday Feel Good Yoga for the People. So tonight's sequence is all about length, spinal tractioning, and in the process also releasing the lumbar or the low back area. I had posted earlier today on Facebook that I can, imagine that most people's bodies are feeling a little cramped up from probably sitting at a home office desk all day, and maybe just not getting out and getting moving as much as you normally would. So that's why I decided to go with just a nice, gentle, open yourself back up kind of thing. And if you're looking for something a little more with a little more oomph, then join me on Sundays. Sundays is where we really get moving and work it out. And then Wednesdays is yin, so that's even more low key than what we're going to do tonight. It's a meditative deep stretch type class. So tonight we're just going to feel good. So let's go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position. And since we're focusing on the spine, I'm going to encourage you to come and sit off the edge of your blanket, and I'll show you why. So when I sit unsupported on the floor, you can see, and I'll just lift my shirt, how flattened my back is. That is actually not a natural curve of the spine. And what this is indicative of is, believe it or not, a slight posterior tilt to the pelvis. Now, I mean, certainly I'm not here, which some people are when they sit unsupported on the floor, but this is not natural to be so flat. We want to have that natural curve in the spine, and that is what sitting on the edge of a blanket can do for you, along with relaxing your hips. So when you come to sit on the blanket, you don't want to come all the way back and sit on it, because you're creating the same situation that you would if you were sitting on the floor. But what you do is you slide your sits bones right off the edge. Now watch this. So now you can see I have that angle back with the natural curve in the low back there. So I'm going to turn face on now that I've shown you that. And if you want to join me, by the way, it is not a requirement to sit on a blanket by any means. I like it. I like to sit off the edge of a bolster or even a block, just to help me feel fully relaxed and released in my seated posture. So we'll just start here by closing the eyes. And beginning to draw the awareness to the rhythm of the breath. Relaxing through the muscles of your face, across your forehead, around your eyes, cheeks. Allow a separation to come between the top and the bottom rows of teeth to release your jaw. And you can either allow the tongue just to rest at the base of the mouth behind the bottom teeth, or it may feel more natural to allow the tongue to gently float up to the top of the mouth. Bring a lift into heart center as you relax your shoulders down your back. And now let's just shift our awareness to our back. Just allow the natural breath to bathe up and down the spine or through the low back area, whichever area is calling your attention most. And see if you can begin to allow one of the most powerful energies on the planet, your thought energy, to begin to consciously release any strain, tension, dis-ease from those areas. I find it easiest to visualize the release along the out breath. Perhaps allowing an intention to arise in heart space. And that intention can be directed toward anything in your life. Whatever it is that needs nurturing or guidance, just allow the intention of your heart to reflect your true self. And know that each minute bit of energy that you place toward your practice this evening also feeds that intention. And we'll bring our hands together at heart center. We'll inhale, reaching forward and up. And exhale, back down to the heart. Holding here to open our class with 3 ohms, taking an inhale. Fourth ohm resonates within the heart space. All right, we are going to start our sequence on our backs tonight. So come on down. I hope that was a little bit loud. It's a tough call to say, can you hear the music or can you hear me? And I'm gonna leave it where it is so at least I can hear it. All right, go ahead and come on to your back. Feet are on the mat, knees bent, roughly hips distance apart. And we're gonna start just with creeping our way into waking up the back side of the body and spine. So you can go ahead and clasp your hands behind your head if that's comfortable for your shoulders. If not, then you can just leave your arms out to the sides. But we're going to move between anterior and posterior tilt of the pelvis, or convex arch, concave arch of the low back. So on the inhale, you're going to arch through your low back, pressing your tailbone into the mat, allowing your belly to lift up to the ceiling or toward the ceiling. Let me pull my shirt up so you can see this. So I started here, and on my inhale, I arch and create a pocket underneath my low back there. And then on the exhale, I try to suction my belly into the back side of my body as I tuck under and press my low back into the mat. So it's an inhale, creating space under the back. Exhale, tucking under, drawing your low ribs down, and really trying to suction everything down into the back side of the body. Continuing, inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. 3 more, inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And then just inhale back to neutral. And we're gonna do 5 more of those, but making them bigger. So on the inhale, you're gonna arch up and press your elbows into the mat. Really try to come up onto your shoulders there. And then on the exhale, you're gonna tuck under and lift through head and shoulders. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, open. And exhale, tuck. And then just come back to neutral. You can draw your knees into your chest, either holding, sorry, this is too loud. Can y'all hear that? Or could you?
I could hear it. It just kind of sounded like tinkling sounds.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
It doesn't sound like music.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, well, I'll keep it real low, and y'all can turn on music where you are if you like some background music. It was just blaring in my ear, and that's all I could hear. All right, coming onto your back, hugging your knees into your chest, and just kind of giving some organic movements here on your back in Apanasana. So maybe rocking, maybe moving your legs around a little bit and seeing what different leg positions feel like. Now, when you're working with Apanasana, if you let your tailbone curl up, you're working more in the low back. And if you press your tailbone down to the mat and keep it there, you're working more in the hips. I'm not going to tell you how to work. I want you to be intuitive with your movements and listen to what your body, your back is asking for tonight. So I'm even moving my knees independently of each other, not together, you know, just kind of making whatever feels good, making movements that feel good to me. Couple more little rocks across your back here. And then you can allow your feet to come back down to the mat. Step your feet at least max distance apart here. And if you'd like a little bit of shoulder opening, you can come to goal post or you can come overhead. And we're just gonna windshield wiper from side to side. Now, I want you to make them big windshield wipers. When we do our pelvic reset, they're very short and fast. This one, I want you to try to, when you open to the right, try to get that right knee all the way down, and I'm feeling the stretch through the left quadricep and left hip there. So we're just trying to be really deliberate about going fully into our windshield wipers. Should feel good. Once again, you can consciously try to be letting go of any tension, tightness, soreness that you may be discovering as we move through different aspects of the low back and hips here. And you know, if you get into a position and it feels particularly good, like you want to stick there for a moment, you know, stay there, hold it for a couple breaths, see if it changes for you. All right, and we'll come back into center. You can release your arms down and heel toe yourself back so that your hips distance apart. We're gonna move into rolling bridges. Now, with bridge pose. Bridge pose can be tricky for some people's knees. So if you go up into your bridge and your knees go yikes, then what I want you to do, instead of being hips distance apart with your knees, toes straight on, I want you to come a little wider than hips and let the toes turn out. And that'll give you a little bit of relief in the knees. If the knees bother you in bridge pose, if they don't, you know, you're welcome to stay straight on here. I'm gonna pull my pants all the way up because it feels better that way, and it doesn't roll down under my belly fat. That's what's awesome about these yoga pants. You can tuck it all in with these. Don't be jelly of my pants, because you too can own your own pair of ITH tie-dye pants. Just let me know and I will hook you up. All right, back to bridge pose. So start with the hands down by the hips here, and we're going to initiate our bridge pose just like we did with our pelvic tilt. So it'll be a tuck under where the low back presses into the mat, and then a lift up through. All right, so we're going to, on the inhale, tuck and press and lift, and let our arms draw overhead as well. And then we'll exhale, tuck, and roll down through our spine one vertebra at a time. Inhale, tuck, press, lift and draw overhead. Exhale, tuck, rolling down, articulating each vertebra independently. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, and roll down. Again, inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, rolling down. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, roll down. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, roll down. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, roll down. 2 more. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, roll down. Last one. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck, rolling down. And then from there, we're going to settle back into center here. If you stepped your feet wide and turned your feet open, come back hips distance apart and cross your right ankle over your left knee, figure 4 style. And from here, I want you to take your right hand and press the thigh away from you just to lengthen the waist on the right side. So just holding here static for a few breaths, and then we'll add some movement to it with the resistance of this right hand. Make sure you're not squeezing your shoulder up when you do this, but let it drop down as well. And below, arm is engaged here to press that thigh away. Continuing with pressing the thigh, you're going to take an inhale here, and then exhale as you press away. You're going to draw your knees up and in towards your chest. Inhale, let the foot come back down to the mat. Exhale, lift the leg or foot off the mat and draw it in. I'm still pressing away though. Inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees up into chest as you press away. Inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees into chest. Inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Keep pressing. Inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees to chest. We have 3 more on this side. Inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Last one, inhale, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Keep, hold here and keep pushing away. You're going to take an inhale. On the exhale, let the knees drop across the body to the left as you're pushing that right thigh away until it makes it all the way back down. And then you can switch hands. Take your left hand to the inner thigh and push it away. And you're going to draw your right arm up and overhead. Breathe there. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth or squeezing up, especially through the right shoulder. Just trying to create some space through the right hip, low back area. Maybe through the rib cage and our costals. You have 3 more breaths here. And you can release your right arm down and just come back up to center with your figure 4 here. We're gonna keep with the right side. You're gonna lift your left foot up, but cross your knees fully. This time, hands go to the thighs and push away. Don't let your back arch up with this one. You actually want to keep your low ribs and your belly drawn down here. Even as you push your thighs away, that pushing can make you arch up. So be very careful that low back is still to the mat. So I'm pushing my thighs away here. And I'm going to take an inhale. Exhale, draw my knees in. Inhale, allow them to fall away. Exhale, draw in, attempting to keep the low ribs drawn down. Keep toggling here. Just using your inhales and exhales to guide. It's an inhale, the knees fall away. Exhale, draw the knees in. We've got 5 more. Keep going. Try to keep the low ribs drawn down. There is some engagement in this. 3 more. Last one. And then come back away. Lengthen your legs up and just shake them out. There's no wrong way. So you want to turn your legs in and out, shake them back and forth. Really just bringing some movement into them. And this helps to release any tension that may have built up, especially in the hips through all of that. And then you can bring your feet back down to the mat. And we're going to move through that, all of that on the left side now. So let's start back with, let me check my sequence here. Let me see what time it is to see how far back I want to go. I forgot to grab my clock. Okay. We have time. Yay! That's the opposite of what I usually experience when I'm in class with y'all. It's like, oh my God, where did all the time go? Okay, so we're gonna start back with the windshield wipering. So come nice and wide, either mat's distance apart or maybe even outside of your mat. And just begin to drop side to side. Once again, making the conscious effort to really open up as much as you can. And notice when I drop, that hip lifts off the mat. You don't have to stay grounded with this. You can let that hip open up. If you want a little bit more, you could come overhead, especially on the side that you're not dropping toward. That'll give a nice stretch through there. Couple more side to side here. All right, and then come back up to center, heel toe your way back in, and we'll come into rolling bridges again. So feet are either hips distance apart, toes straight on so that the thigh bones stay parallel. That is if it's okay on your knees. If not, feet are going to come a little wider than hips and toes will point out as much as they naturally want. Start with the hands by the hips, and we'll start by tucking under with the pelvis and letting that lift us up as the arms reach up and overhead on the inhale. Exhale, tuck under with the pelvis and let the arms float back down as you articulate your spine, 1 vertebra at a time to the mat. Inhale, tuck, lift. Exhale, tuck and roll. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Reaching the tailbone toward the heels. I'm sorry, toward the knees. Exhale, tuck and roll down. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck and roll. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck and roll. Have 5 more. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck and roll. 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 Last one. Inhale, tuck, press, lift. Exhale, tuck and roll. Nice. Alrighty, from here, we're gonna cross left ankle over right knee. You're gonna take your left hand and press your thigh away from you on the left side. That should bring a feeling of space and maybe even stretch in that area when you do that. Okay, so take a deep inhale. Exhale, continuing to press the thigh away. You're gonna lift the right foot off the mat and draw the knees in toward the chest. That's on the exhale to press the air out. Inhale, let that relax away from you, foot to the mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, foot to mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, foot to mat, continuing to press that thigh away the whole time. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, foot to mat. 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 Exhale, knees to chest. Two more. Inhale, foot to mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, foot to mat. Exhale, knees to chest. Hold here, and you're going to keep these floating, and you're going to let them float across the body to the right until everything reaches the mat. Take your right hand now and switch out, pushing the thigh away from you. Left arm comes up and overhead, and we breathe. My left hip is nowhere near the mat, by the way. It is floating up nice and high there. And I'm pressing the thigh away from me. This is a really nice upper IT band stretch. We do this a lot in our yin class. And just breathing here. Have about 3 more breaths. All right, and then you're gonna come back to center, release your arm down, cross fully, knee over knee, ladylike style, and then let that fall in or lift up in toward your chest. Both hands press on the thighs here. Remember, when you press, it's gonna make you wanna arch in your low back. I want you to stay tucked and stay drawn down through your rib cage and your belly there. So press away, and we take an inhale, exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale, relax away, but don't relax in your belly and your back and let it arch. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, relax away. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, away. Exhale, in. Inhale, away. Exhale, in. 5 more. Inhale, away. Exhale, in. Inhale, away. Exhale, in. 3 more. Inhale, away. Exhale, in. Inhale, away. Exhale in. Last one. Inhale, away. Exhale in. And then you can relax away, uncross, and shake it out. Really be vigorous with this shaking. I mean, you're in your own home. It's not like anybody's watching you. Except for those of you that have your cameras on, I can see you. And make sure you turn them to kind of move them side to side. Internal and external rotation. Okay. You can let your feet come down or roll over onto your side and help yourself up. And this is where you're going to need your strap if you have your strap or your scarf. Or if you don't have either of those or your scarf doesn't work for you, then it's not a big deal. But you will want to sit with your hips elevated, especially if you do not have a strap or a scarf that works for you. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to make a big loop with your strap. So to make a big loop with your strap, I always like to make sure there are no twisties in it first. And then you go through the 2D rings, back in the opposite direction over the first and through the second. I grabbed my blue strap today, so hopefully everybody would be able to see it. The white strap would have blended in with my pants, and my black strap would have blended in with my shirt, so blue it is. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and elevate our hips. Even if you have a strap, it just makes it that much sweeter. So remember, sits bones off the edge of the blanket so that it gives you a little bit of an anterior tilt, and you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. Baddha Konasana here. With the strap, what you want to do is bring it over and around the very top of your hips in the back. I'm going to move my shirt so y'all can see this. Let me pull my pants back up. All right. So this is where the strap is placed, very on the top of the hips, not in the low back. So top of the hips. From there, you're going to take one end of your loop and wrap around your feet. So my feet are together and I just come underneath, like it's like a sling holding my feet there. Okay? And then I want to cinch my strap so that it's tight, so that it's lifting me up out of my low back. And giving me that support. Leslie, are you able to make your scarf work for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent, that's awesome. So this is my position. Let me pull my shirt up so you can see the strap again. So this is what it looks like from the side, from the back, and from the front. Now, we did all this just to sit and breathe in Baddha Konasana. What I would like for you to do from here, now that you're sitting up nice and tall and supported, take your hands to your inner thighs. Fingertips can either be pointing forward or open, whatever's more comfortable for you, and press down on your thighs. Close your eyes and breathe. Try not to tense up in your hip flexors, but rather just let the pressure from your hands open that area. We might have a tendency to flex and resist. Don't resist against the pressure of the hands pushing down. Just let it open. And maybe you can wiggle side to side here a little bit, pressing into each side a little bit more when you're on that side. But the strap is to just help you stay lifted out of your low back and not posteriorly dump. That is a big tendency in this posture, to dump into your low back. So that's what the strap's for. A few more breaths here. Maybe try different areas of your legs and see how that feels. And I'm trying not to come here with my shoulders. Trying to be nice and tall. Trying to not resist in my hip flexors. That's a tough one for me. My hip flexors want to tighten up against it. All right. So you can unhook or loosen it a little bit. Let your feet come unhooked, and you can take that off. Put it off to the side, but leave it in the big loop, because we'll use that again later. All right, from here, you're gonna help your knees up to center and step nice and wide with your feet. Come on, go ahead and come off of your blanket if you had your hips elevated on the blanket. It'll make it a little easier to move here. I've got my hands just behind me, supporting my seat here. I'm not dumped into my low back. I'm lifted up out of it. And I'm just gonna start some big windshield wipers here. And we're gonna make them even bigger. So the next time you come onto one side, straighten your legs out and twist, and then you'll come back to center, bending over to the other side and straighten, back to center, bend, drop, and lengthen as you twist, center, bend, lengthen. That should really be getting into the low back when you do that twist over. Feels good to me. I hope it's feeling good to y'all. Couple more. One more to each side. And coming back to center. Let me see where I'm going here. Oh, yes. Okay. We're going to come back onto our backs. And I forgot we were supposed to have a block for this part, but oh well, it's not necessary. It was just a squeeze between your legs with a traction in bridge pose, but not a necessity, especially since I don't have one up here. I didn't bring one upstairs into the sunroom with me. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do is engage your inner thighs a little bit by just moving them toward each other. So abducting. But don't pressure legs into center. You just want engagement through the hips here. All right, I want you to lift your toes and the balls of your feet so that you are just on your heels, okay? From there, you're gonna dig your heels into the mat. You're gonna reach overhead and take hold of the edges of your mat. Sorry, I'm moving my sequence. and my plant that's attacking me right now. Okay, so I'm taking hold literally of the edges of my mat. I'm gonna pull on that and lift up into a bridge pose on my heels. So I'm trying to traction my spine here. Hamstring should be on like Donkey Kong. That's what happens when you do a bridge pose on your heels. But I'm pulling on my mat with my hands. And I'm pressing my heels down into the floor and pushing them away from me, isometrically. And breathing. Reach the tailbone towards your knees. And on an exhale, go ahead and relax all the way down to the mat. Woo! Rock that out. All right, another bridge pose with tractioning. This time you're gonna hold the sides of your mat down by your hips, and you're gonna pull open with your hands on the side of your mat. So go ahead and flex your feet so that you're on your heels, and you'll tuck and lift and pull open on the sides of your mat. And breathe here. Our arms should be engaged. Tailbone is reaching toward the knees. You're breathing. If you saw, I kind of walked myself up onto my shoulders here. Heels are digging in and isometrically pressing away as you pull open on your mat. Three more breaths here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, relaxing down and just kind of rocking that out as well. I'm not really windshield wipering. I'm just kind of shifting my weight from side to side. And then you're going to draw your knees up in towards your chest. Let your knees fall open like butterfly and take hold of your ankles. So this is a variation of happy baby pose, and you're just going to rock here. And maybe even do kind of like we did at the first and let the legs move independently, or just take some organic movements that feel good to you here. Of course, you could move more into happy baby pose by, drawing the knees more into the armpits or down toward the mat. Again, if you come into happy baby pose, if you're letting the tailbone curl up, that's giving more release and stretch in the low back. With the tailbone pressed down toward the mat, that's keeping it more in the hips. So you may play with what feels good to you. And then come back to center and lengthen your legs up. And you're going to bring your hands by your hips, and we're going to rock this way. We're going to rock and lift our hips a little bit and then come back down and rock back. It doesn't have to be a huge movement like we would if we were specifically doing core work. Now, there is an aspect of core work in this, but it should be very mild. We're looking more for the low back release here. So just kind of rocking into your low back there. Not even pressing into your hands. I mean, I'm not even having, the movement's so small, I'm not straining at all. Please don't strain. That's the opposite of what we want our yoga practice to do for us. A few more rocks. I am feeling it in my belly. My bagel, my jumbo bagel. All right, releasing down and coming up to seated. Let me check our time. Oh, we're good, we're good. Okay, I'm going to, again, bring my blanket onto my mat to elevate my hips. And I'm gonna come to a simple cross-leg seated position here. I can either be in full Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce, or Siddhasana, where the heels are lined up with the groin. That feels a little better to me, but you may be more comfortable in full crisscross. All right. So from here, we're going to take a deep inhale out and up with the arms. Exhale, twisting through our spine to the right to drop our right arm behind our right hip, and the back side of the left hand comes to the outside of the thigh. And we lift and look over the back shoulder, breathing here. And now that we've got that shape, hold this shape and move your left hand to your inner thigh, your inner right thigh, and press that down and away. And feel the sensation that comes into the right hip and the right low back on that side when you press the thigh down. Try to stay tall here. And we're breathing. The frogs are getting started. Can y'all hear them?
I can hear them.
Yay! The special frogs. All right, deep inhale, exhale, relax out of that. We're going to continue creating space in the right side of the body. Left hand comes out to the left. Inhale out and up with the right arm. Exhale over to the left. Try not to let that hip pop up, but you want to ground down through that sits bone. Try to not come forward with this, but open out with it, for right now at least. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth or squeezing up through that shoulder. Let everything, even in this active, dynamic posture, let everything that's not directly involved with engagement of the posture be soft and at ease. Okay, we'll inhale back up to center. Now I'm going to take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Overhead, deep inhale, Exhale, just drawing the arm over. So this, the sensation is more in the rib cage and armpit area here. So I'm not so much about bending over as much as drawing that arm across. My palm opens up with this. Two more breaths. And inhaling back up. Exhale, left hand comes across to the inside of the thigh. Press into it, grow even taller. And exhale, reach across. Breathing. And we'll inhale up and whoo, let that arm come down. Roll that out of your shoulders a little bit. I hope you're starting to feel like ooey gooey in your back and hips. You should be. Well, I shouldn't say should. It would be nice if you were. Oh, I can see your little baby there, Leslie. That's, don't tell me his name. You've got Rosie and not Chico.
It's close. Shiro.
Shiro.
He's right here next to me.
Oh, I know. I had to close the sunroom door. All four of them would have been in here the whole time. So
Rosie's right here, and I've got 3 cats in here too.
Nice. All right, let's move through those postures on the left side of the body. So go ahead and cross your legs the opposite way. The wrong way, huh? All right, sitting up nice and tall. Once again, I'm still off the edge of my blanket with my hips here. Woo, this is weird on that foot. Told you it was the wrong way. Starting to cramp up in that foot. It's crazy. Oh, stop. All right. I think it'll be okay. All right, sitting up nice and tall in center here. We're going to inhale up with both arms. Exhale, twist left, bringing the back side of the right hand to the outside of the thigh. Left hand plants behind the left hip. Open that back shoulder, and you can cast your gaze over your shoulder. So we're just going to take a few breaths here with the hands in this position, and then we'll press that thigh away for a few more breaths here. So coming as tall as you can through your spine. You should feel like a winding staircase. You're twisting, but you're going up. I should have given you the cues on both sides for this in regards to your back and the movements that you can make, but I'll save those for next time we do this posture. All right, let your right hand come to the thigh, to your left thigh, and press it away. And feel if there is a different sensation when you change the position of the hand. I immediately felt it more in my low left back, right over the crest of my really my iliac crest, but right over my hips there in the back, right in the low back on that side of the left side. I feel it more there when I press the thigh away. About 3 more breaths here. Deep inhale. Exhale. Unwinding. Go ahead and bring your right hand out to the right. Inhale out and up with the left arm. Don't squeeze up through the shoulder. Exhale. And you can either walk that arm out and keep it extended, or you can bend through the elbow. But make sure you're not hunching forward with this one. You want to keep it open and keep reaching through the arm. And breathing. Feeling massive amount of stretch through my rib cage. Well, really my intercostal muscles. Couple more breaths here. And we'll inhale up. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. And exhale back over to the right. Tempting to wrap open with the heart. And remember, that's going to transfer it more up into here. The last one I was feeling more in the lower rib cage, and now I'm feeling it more up and into that armpit as I pull that arm across. Inhale up to center. You're going to let the right arm come down to the left thigh, right hand come down, and push the thigh away, and then exhale across. And inhale up, exhale, releasing down, and roll that out. It's getting warm in this sunroom. Even though the sun's going down, I'm dripping right now. I need to turn the fan on. And make sure you reverse your direction with your shoulder rolls. All right. Go ahead and bring your legs forward, lengthen them out, and just bounce them out a little bit. Since, say, you've been in that cross-leg position for a while. And you can windshield wiper. Yeah, I hope you're making that sound, because it makes that sound when you do it. The things I say to entertain myself. All right, go ahead and come off of your blanket. And we're gonna bring the hands behind us again and step nice and wide. And we'll start by just windshield wipering to each side. So we're not doing the big one where we lengthen out. What we're actually gonna do is come into a deer twist to each side here in a moment. I always butt walk when I do windshield walk. Like I end up walking off my mat when I do my windshield wipers. Okay, so the next time the knees go over to the right, you're actually gonna turn over the right thigh. And let me turn on my mat so that y'all can see this. So I let my knees drop to the right, and then I'm going to twist to the right over that thigh and try to settle all the way down to the mat. Now, if this is not enough for you and you're not getting much out of this, what you can do with this top knee is reach it back. If you've got the flexibility, you can even take your right hand and take hold of that foot back there. And if you're a true glutton for punishment, you could even take hold with your left hand of your left foot and lengthen forward. And we're breathing. You do not have to take hold of either of the feet. Three more breaths. All right, release your hold, and you can press yourself back up. And we'll come back to the windshield wipering. I hope that that posture was clear for everybody. You could just stay in the twisted deer without the binding, without the grabbing of the feet. Perfectly fine. I think most of y'all are familiar with that posture. Maybe not with the bound. When it's bound, it's almost like a prone cat's tail, catching the cat's tail. Okay, so this time, I'm going to turn on my mat again. This time, the knees are going to fall to the left. You're going to lift and twist over that leg. And so this might be where you are, or you may be up here. This might be enough for you. So you could be here, or if you want more, and I'll show you this one from the back side. So if you want more, with your left hand, you're going to reach back and take hold of that foot. And then with your right hand, you're going to take hold of your bottom foot and lengthen forward. And we breathe. All right, releasing your grip if you have it, pressing yourself back up and unwinding. All right, so we're gonna do some tabletop lifts, half tabletop actually. Some people, their wrists don't like doing this, so if you're one of those people, you can come onto knuckles to do this if that helps you. The true or traditional rather version of the posture has the fingertips pointing forward with this, but that can also, especially since we haven't done any work with warming our wrists up, that can be pretty intense. So if your hands and wrists are more comfortable being back or even out to the sides, then, you know, give yourself that. I'm gonna keep my fingertips pointing more to the back tonight. So knees are bent here. And I wanna bring my hands in close to my hips, whatever direction they're facing. And we're gonna inhale and press into our feet and scoop our tailbone, lifting up and reaching our tailbone toward our knees. And then inhale back down. Exhale, or no, inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Shake that out of your wrist if you need to. All right. Again, take your blanket, especially if you're not on carpet, and I'm going to open my blanket out one fold so that it's wider. We're going to come into frog. So I'll show you how to go into the posture from the front, and then I'll turn on my mat to make it a little more comfortable for myself. So to come into frog, you're going to split your knees. I'm going as wide as my blanket is. And then I'm going to turn my feet open so that I'm on, can y'all see that? I'm on the inside edge of the foot. Now my heel doesn't touch, and that's okay. So I'm going to show you now from the side how to finish moving into this posture. So my knees are wider than my hips. I've got them as wide as my mat right now. I'm going to turn my feet open. I'm going to come down onto my forearms here. And then I'm going to press back into my hips and come back up. So I'm just going to kind of bounce into my hips here. We're going to bounce for a little bit, and then we'll settle and hold. And if this is too much, you can bring the toes into center. It's a little different. This is tadpole. It's a little different, but not too much. Not enough to be bad in this sequence or not be effective in this sequence. So I'm just rocking back and forth. And the next time I rock back, I'm gonna hold. And I'm gonna try to come low onto the mat. I just stacked my forearms on top of each other, and my forehead is resting on my forearms, and I'm breathing. So as you can see, a lot of what goes on in your low back has to do with your hips. Two more breaths. And to come out of this, I shift forward. I'm gonna bring my toes into center. I'm actually gonna turn so that you can see this from the front view. So I'm leaving my knees wide, and I'm gonna, let me pull my pants legs up so that you can really see this. I'm gonna turn my toes in so that my heels come together, and I'm on my toes here. And then I'm going to shift back into a variation of toe squat. And if I have the balance, I might be able to come here. You do not have to have the balance aspect. You're still getting the opening here with the hands on the mat. This just adds a little bit. And release back to the mat with your hands. I think we're going up from here, yes. So from here, I want you to shift forward, step your feet wide. I've stepped off of my blanket here in center. And I've got my toes pointed open. I'm gonna bring my hands to the insides of my thighs and push away here. And I like to shift my weight. You don't have to, you could stay in center and maybe balance a little bit, or just stay in center, but I like to shift side to side with this type of work. And you can move your hands down your legs or thighs, maybe even to your knees, and see how it feels different to you. Try not to squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. And I'll show you this from the side. I'm reaching back through my tailbone. I'm not here tucked under, posterior tilting. I'm reaching back like I would with a squat. Couple more breaths here. And now I'm going to stand up, heel toe my way in slightly, but I'm still wide and I can still let my toes open. I'm going to keep a very deep bend in my knees and just spill over. So I'll show you this one from the side too. I'm just here, just letting everything traction. And if it feels good to shift here too. All right, bring your hands to the mat, heel toe your way in, maybe a tad wider than hips distance or right at hips distance. Once again, a soft bend in the knees. You're gonna clasp your hands behind your head and just let the weight of your arms traction the spine. So I'll show you from the side. We're not pulling on it. We're just letting gravity have a little extra help with the weight of our arms. And I'm feeling that all the way down my spine. And I'm breathing. And I'm gonna bring my hands to my mat, crawl my hands forward, and bring myself into a downward facing dog. So low ribs and navel, draw up toward the spine so that you're not here dumping, you're lifted and supporting the low back. Make sure to create space around your ears. You want to engage your shoulder blades onto your back. And another thing with the hips here, you can lift up through the right leg, bend the knee, and just open that hip. Maybe do some circles here with the knee. Just making any organic movements that feel good to you. Really opening through that hip and through the whole side of the body. And inhale back up, exhale back down, and we'll move into the left. So inhale up with the left leg and open the hip, doing circles or whatever feels good there. Maybe just letting it hang back. And coming back to center in your down dog, we'll lower our knees to the mat. And you're going to extend your arms, reaching forward. Walk over to the right side. Take a deep inhale. Turn the tops of your feet down. Exhale, reach back. Through your hips toward your heels. I want you to bring your left hand on top of your right and take hold between your fingers. So you're kind of holding hands from the top. And I really want you to press away with that top left hand. That should deepen the stretch through the left side of the body. Try not to squeeze up through your shoulders. Oh my goodness. I just looked at the time. I knew it was going to happen to me. We'll get the other side and then go into Shavasana. We almost finished. We had a couple extra poses. All right. Inhale, lifting up. Walking off to the left. This time, right hand grips on top of the left, and you press away as you reach your hips back to your heels. And you can just let your head rest on your arms. Two more breaths. And help yourself back up. Whew. And onto your backs for Shavasana. I see the celebration, Leslie. So I'm going to turn on some music for you. I need to run downstairs though and grab my bell. I forgot to bring the bell up for after Shavasana. So let me turn some Shavasana music, can't talk, on for you. Letting go, I whisper. It's okay to release. Letting go, my body says back to me, thank you. Letting go, I find a silence and a stillness so sweet. Letting go, I feel my body welcome in peace. This feeling of centeredness, groundedness and ease becomes available anytime I'm willing to let go and welcome release.
As the sound of the bell enters into your awareness, let it bring with it an awareness of your surroundings, beginning to deepen your breath and turn your senses outward once again. Slowly begin to bring movements back into your body, starting with fingertips and toes, hands and feet, wrists and ankles, arms and legs. Whole body making movements that feel good to you. And when you're ready, make your way over onto your right side using arm or blanket as a pillow, remaining there for just a couple of breaths, allowing all weight off the heart. And then you can help yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. We'll end where we began. I invoke favor, peace, prosperity, and health upon each of us this evening. May we experience full restoration, nothing missing, nothing broken. That which has been taken from us, physical and not, may be returned to us sevenfold. And that which was once broken in our lives, bodies, minds, or spirits, may it be mended like new. May all beings be happy, healthy, and free, and may we practice with patience and know much peace. Namaste. Thank you to each of you for being here this evening. Thank you to everyone who watches and plays along with the recording. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Namaste.